Hello good people, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for clicking. In today's video, we are going to talk about quarterly review of your personal finances. Welcome to another episode of Live, Learn, Adventure and Charity, where we talk about finance, personal development, travel and community service. If this is your kind of content, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell. That will help you be notified every time we have a new video. On to the topic of the day. The first thing to undertake is ensure you have your annual goals and they are written down. Not just having them clustered somewhere in your mind, but they are somewhere written down. Comment down below if you have written down your annual goals. And in fact, the question would be, do you have your goals in place? That is short term, within a year, medium term, within 5 years, long term, that's lifetime. And you have a plan on your finances to be able to meet the specific goals that you have set for yourself. Comment down below. The next key thing is that ensure that the goals you have set yourself are very smart. That is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. It is also good to push yourself to the next level. Don't just be on your comfort zone. Push yourself. Push, push, push. Whatever you can do better, push it. It will not hurt even if you push yourself to achieve something that maybe you had not anticipated. Like we said, you must have your goals written down. So these goals that you have written down, you have written them like the specific goal with a specific timeline that you intend to achieve them. And the first thing when you're undertaking your quarterly review, being that we have just come to the end of the quarter, by the way, I'm recording this video early April. That brings us to the close of quarter one of the year, which most people say should be the peak, because you have started, you have made resolutions, you have had your dreams, you have reviewed where you went wrong in the previous year, and you think or you plan to improve this new year. If you have not done anything in the first quarter, this is the time to just assess. I set my new year resolutions. By the way, comment down below if you set new year's resolution. Personally, I don't. I just stick to my goals, and whatever I want to add in the year, okay, the dogs. Like I was saying before, I was interrupted by the dogs. So you need to ensure your goals are in place. So the first thing when you're undertaking quarterly review is taking stock. You need to see the goals that you set for yourself for the first quarter of the year. Like I said, we are just come to the end of the first quarter of the year, and let's not just specific to the first quarter of the year. This should happen every quarter. So review what you plan to do in the month of January. Have you achieved? If not, why not? If you still want to achieve it, because I don't think you set a goal that you don't plan to achieve, what are you doing about it? The same case for the month of Feb and March. And remember, now that gives you a challenge, because you will need to catch up for the 3 months. In the 4th month, because in April now we are in the 4th month. So in the 4th month, whatever you're lagging behind, you need to catch up. So let's try and keep a monthly push for ourselves, so that when it comes to quarterly review, you'll just be ticking the things that you have done. But remember, life is not always a smooth sail, so you may be lagging behind for one reason or the other. You may have experienced abrupt changes in your life. You may have experienced some drastic or high costs that were not planned in the quarter, thus derailing your progress. But you know what? You don't sit back and start crying. You pick your pieces where they are and you move forward. The second thing is reflect on the progress you have made. Remember, what is important is to make steps. Even if you make baby steps, they are still important. They will make a difference. The problem would be when you don't make an effort at all. But even if you started and at some point you're lagging behind, you know what? You can still pick up. In I think one of our previous videos, which I will link down below, I shared different ways you can do your savings, and this will help accommodate anyone who is having whatever source of income, whether it is daily, weekly, monthly, random. It doesn't matter. What matters is the will that you have to do what you have to do. The next thing is assessing where you're struggling. Remember, we are human. Sometimes maybe third party factors can interrupt your schedule, but in most cases, I think we participate more than other people, because you have to think about yourself first. Doesn't mean that you're selfish. It means that you have plans for yourself. And for instance, if you don't make yourself happy, it is difficult for you to make other people happy. So that, for me, I think is how I determine the level of first focusing on self, so that you can be able to spread. If you have positive vibes, you're going to spread positive vibes. If you have negative vibes, one to you, your life will just be thinking of the negative. So let's always be positive and focus on the positive. The next thing is, once you have identified your struggles, you need to brainstorm on the solution. There's nothing without a solution. Maybe you put yourself in a situation that maybe you are not able to achieve at that time, but you don't scold yourself. You can postpone a specific goal. If it is something maybe even you had put for a longer period, then you realize whatever you have, for instance, if it is money, whatever you have at the moment is sufficient to cover something else that you would have done later. You can even interchange and just fix things here and there. Sometimes it is also important to seek expert advice when you're trying to fix some level of issues when it comes to finances, because you'll find yourself fixing a mess by creating another mess. For instance, you might find a person borrowing from one person to pay another person, and maybe this other person, the two people are charging interest, but the one that you are paying is charging lesser interest. So you might consider renegotiating rather than borrowing to come and pay, because that now you are growing your debt, you're growing your problem. You will think that because you have shut one person, that you have decided to, you have made progress, but you actually have not. You have created a deeper hole for yourself, rather than if you would have just uh, decided to renegotiate how you would pay your debt, rather than just taking another debt to pay someone. I've seen instances where people, like maybe I have 5 friends, I decide to borrow from 2 of my friends, and then I'm not able to pay. I find myself borrowing from 2 others to come and pay. So what will happen? I'm going to start creating a negative relationship with my friends. And number two, I might even ruin my name, because now people know she borrowed you to pay me. Some people talk. It's the truth of life. People might find themselves talking. Sometimes you have taken too long paying one person, then maybe they mention to someone else. So after you've borrowed, then they say, "Oh, that is how I was paid, because she borrowed from you." So it is important to just see how you can fix your issues without worsening your situation. The next important thing is select your best next step. Yes, you're here. If you fall in mud, you don't stay in the mud, you get out go and clean yourself. So the same thing will happen here. You will wake up from the issues that you have identified. Remember, we have taken stock, we have reflected on the progress, we have assessed where we are struggling, we have brainstormed the solution. So it's now time to take action. You fall, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself, and you walk again. You do not stick in the mud. So do something. If you have not set your goals, the first thing in this instance after watching this video is setting them, writing them down with specific timelines. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this episode of Live, Learn, Adventure and Charity. And this is where we make your finances matter. Thank you so much to our new subscribers. And if you have not subscribed and you like our content, kindly hit the subscribe button. And remember, we also value your feedback. Let us know the next topic you want us to discuss. And of course, we will be glad to share. We always share from the feedback we get from you, because this channel is about you and I. See you on our next one. Bye.